What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind, week 4 of the Keto Rewind Clean 30 Challenge. Today is day 3 of week 4, or day 24. So congrats, we are halfway through the week almost. And being that it's a real chilly, cold day here in North Texas, we are going to do a delicious oven-baked chicken recipe. So I'm going to pound some chicken breasts, stuff it with a little boars and cheese, and wrap it in bacon, and then serve it with a side of roasted veggies. So for those of you that are just joining, I am showing you how I ate to lose over 130 pounds. And if you want to download the free meal plans, use the links down below in the description box. I will try to remember to pin the first comment. You just go to ketorewind.com or to just use the links down below. Mom has the night off. You're just cooking with me today. I just had an easy egg, bacon, and cheese sandwich, so we're gonna skip filming that. It's pretty self-explanatory. I used the keto toast recipe, and I fried up 3 eggs and threw some Canadian bacon on top. And that was a delicious and tasty sandwich. So just to keep these videos a little shorter, we're just gonna cut that out and go right into dinner. So anyways, let's change the camera angle around and let's get to cooking dinner. We're gonna serve roasted vegetables on the side. This vegetable medley right here, we have basically what's left over. Today's Saturday, we have slim pickings in the fridge. So this is a great way to use up random vegetables. No rhyme or reason. Use what you have and use it up. And then also for portion sizes, a lot of people have been asking, well, how much of whatever you're adding in? It's gonna depend on what you have and what your servings are. I will show you what I'm doing. I'm cooking for a family of 6, but you still have to figure out your own portion sizes. And if you wanna use mine for a guideline, that's kind of what I'm basically here for. But figuring out how much and all of that is gonna be up to you. And that's the part that you have to learn. That's gonna be the definition of success. When you learn how much to eat again. I was eating for a family of 4 with my past serving sizes, so that's why I tracked my macros. And that has given me like my blueprint of how much I can eat, or a guideline of how much to eat. So, but anyways, I'll tell you what I have here if you want to pan the camera down. I have 1 whole head of cauliflower. I have about 4 cups of broccoli. This is actually frozen. I was running short on veggies, and we're gonna roast it frozen. I have 1 medium-sized white onion. If you are worried about the carbs, leave the onion off. They're a little higher in carbs. I had 1 random zucchini left over. So that's basically what we're gonna have for the 6 of us. And I'm gonna roast it in avocado oil. And then I have this handy 2 tablespoon measuring spoon because it's easy to overdo the oil. And if you are measuring out, it's just a little bit, it's just one of those steps to make sure you're not overdoing it. I basically do 1 to 2 tablespoons per person as a rule of thumb. So I'm gonna aim for probably, 6 tablespoons or so. Take a look at it, and if I need another 2, I can just add more. So it's easier to just underestimate, and then you can always add more if it looks like it needs it. So here's 2 tablespoons. Another 2 tablespoons. Remember, this is feeding 6 people. Another 2 tablespoons between the 2 of them. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to put the salt and pepper on, and then I will mix it with my hands. And if it looks like it needs more, I can add more oil at that point. But it's just easier to be on the err on the cautious side first. So we're not afraid of pepper. We love pepper in this family. And then pink salt. And you're going to want to do your own salt and pepper to taste. There we go. So now I'm going to use my hands and just mix it around. Take a peek. And if it looks dry, I'll add another 2 tablespoons to this mixture. But that is how easy it is. And if you have your own vegetables in your pantry, throw them in there. Peppers are good in here. Asparagus is tasty and perfect in here. I love cauliflower and broccoli roasted. It just takes it from, not a boring vegetable, but it just takes it up out of the park when you roast it. It just, I've had people that didn't like broccoli and had my roasted broccoli and now are broccoli fans. So it's really it's really how you cook it. And it makes it so that it's not boring and your plate is real colorful. So at this point, I think I have a good amount of oil in here and I'm not going to add any more. So I'm just going to mix everything together so all the flavors are cooking nicely. And one other thing to note, I have all my pieces about the same size. That way it all cooks around the same time because you don't want burned onions with raw broccoli, you know. So that's just one thing to keep in mind when you are dicing it up. Do big hunks and make sure they're all the same size. And this is looking pretty darn good here. And I'm going to preheat my oven for 400 degrees. And I spread it out so everything's getting good exposure in the oven. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven when I put the chicken in. So next, I'm gonna wash my hands and then we're gonna do the chicken. Alrighty, so we're gonna prep the chicken now. You don't have to stuff the chicken with anything. You can completely skip that step. Just wrap your chicken with bacon, but I'm going to stuff mine with boars and cheese. This one has a lot of flavor. It's just tasty and it takes your cooking up a notch. You can find it with like your cheeses in your grocery store. So I'm going to use that. But like I said, if you don't want to stuff it or you don't want any dairy, just leave it out. Chicken wrapped in bacon is still delicious. So anyways, I'm also going to use our homemade bacon. You're gonna want a thinner cut of bacon. And the reason we make our own bacon, which the video on how to make your own bacon is gonna come up soon. I didn't want to overwhelm you too much. So I have that scheduled to come out in February. But the nice thing when you make your own bacon, you're not putting a bunch of sugar on it. You're not putting a bunch of preservatives. It's clean. It's just pork belly that you've smoked and it's so delicious. And when you start making your own bacon, the cost of it goes down so much for what you're getting. So anyways, we're gonna use our homemade bacon, but if you don't have homemade bacon, it's fine. Just use store-bought, it's fine. Just make sure it's not a high sugary bacon. Read the label. So anyways, we're gonna start off with chicken. And when I pound chicken or do anything like this, I like to make sure my chicken's nice and dry. I still have a few spots that are frozen, so we're hoping that's not gonna be a problem. But I'm gonna put the chicken between two pieces of parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use shrink wrap or saran wrap, foil, or you don't have to cover it if you don't want to. But it keeps the spray down. I have a meat tenderizer, but if you don't have a meat tenderizer, you can use a fry pan or a heavy pot. But I'm just gonna give it a couple of hits. Because I'm rolling the chicken and it's easier to have it a little bit more tender and spread out and thinner. So I'm basically making this breast a lot bigger than it is. All right, so now that's what we're working with now. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to put the ugly side in. And I'm gonna wash my hands and get a device to put the salt and pepper on. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're just gonna take some pepper. And if you want to do your own spices, that's fine. I like a lot of pepper, so we're gonna put pepper in here. And remember, this is the inside or the ugly side. I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic powder. Salt. And then lastly, we're gonna put roughly 2 tablespoons of boars and cheese. And I'm gonna put it more in the center because when I roll it, we don't want it to be all on one edge and seep out. We want it really in the middle. And we're not loading it with cheese. We're just putting just a little bit of flavor in there. And the nice thing about boars and cheese is it doesn't run when it gets melty, so it'll stay inside. You could also use like Parmesan cheese or cheddar, one of the cheeses that are not very, I'm gonna use all of this, that's why I'm going back in here. But cheddar cheese is another great one to have stuffed. All right, So that is pretty darn good. So now all we're gonna do is, because you don't want it super thick, like if I rolled it this way, it would be like this tall. I'm just gonna roll it probably this side in. Actually, I want to scooch that even more over so it doesn't ooze out. And then that is it. So now I'm just going to get a piece of bacon and wrap on the outside. Now this is obviously a really big chicken breast, and being that I pounded it, or you know, I smashed it, it got even bigger. So this is probably going to feed 2 people, this one breast. So just remember, this isn't all one person. I guess if you hadn't had anything else in the day, you could do a whole one yourself, or if you do it carnivore or something like that. So all I'm going to do is just wrap the chicken. And my bacon's a lot thinner and smaller than store-bought, so that's why it looks like I'm using a lot. So just keep that in mind. It's not a ton of bacon in it. My bacon is very, very tasty, so I want that on there. It also will help seal that cheese in there and keep this chicken nice and moist while it's cooking. So I just put a couple toothpicks in it so it doesn't unroll. And then we're gonna transfer it to my cookie sheet right here. I sprayed my parchment paper with some avocado oil. It's just so it doesn't stick when it comes off. And I'm gonna repeat the process with my other 2 pieces of chicken, and I'll be right back. So who are you?
Ellie.
How old are you?
7.
You're 7? You look at the camera.
7.
All right, what do you think of Mommy's chicken? Does that look yummy? All right, so let's take a peek at that. We have 4 chicken breasts that have been pounded and stuffed with cheese and wrapped in bacon. So now I have preheated the oven at 400 degrees, and these are gonna go in for at least a half an hour. Or until the juices run clear, or you test the meat with the thermometer and it's 165, 170-ish. So anyways, we're gonna put these in, and I'll see you back in a half an hour. And also I'm gonna put in the vegetables as well. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of questions on my plates that I put all of my food on. So I want to show you real quick what they are and where I got them from. My cookware is from Target, to believe it or not, and a set of 4 was 20 bucks. So I did a set of 8, but this is the big, like, flat plate with tall sides that I've been filming with. But they also have like a chili bowl size, or a cereal if you eat cereal. I don't eat cereal, of course, but that is a great bowl for soups, some salads, baked goods. It's stoneware. It comes with the dinner plate, which is a nice shape as well. Real pretty for presentation. And of course I guess the bread plate, or whatever they call that. So anyways, 20 bucks at Target. I wish I had an Amazon link for you, or I would post it below. But anyways, that's what I use for, and those are my dishes. Alrighty, so our chicken is done. It took about 35 minutes, and the veggies were pulled out at the same time as the chicken when everything came together nicely. So I will next put this on a plate and show you dinner. Alrighty, here's the finished product. We have the vegetables that have been roasted in the oven, and we have the bacon wrapped. I cut it so you could see the middle. The bacon wrapped chicken. Ooh, fogged up my camera. And there you have it. And obviously your portion sizes of all of this will be determined on your macros.